Konami just made DDDs the best free-to-play deck and nobody's talking about it. If we make our way over to the store and we go over to decks, you will see that there's a brand new DDD structure deck. And in here you could get cards like the DD Swirl Slime, the Night Owl, and one of the most important cards is going to be the Dragon King Pendragon. Now of course there's going to be new ways to play this deck with the brand new DDD Pendulum monsters, but you can make a really good DDD deck by just buying one copy of the structure deck and going through their old box once. Now of course if you wanted more support, you would be farming the deck lane event because this is giving you even more DDD monsters. Now like I said, this support is all brand new, so nobody really knows what's the best way to play the deck. But if we're going based off of the old deck that people would love and play, all you would need is 10,000 gems, 1,000 for the structure deck, and then another 9,000 for the run through of this box, which is going to give you 2 of every SR that you pretty much need, and you would get 1 of their UR, which is going to be the Genshins, which you normally play 1 of, and the DD Swirl Slime, which you normally play 3 of, but you're getting 2 for a really low price. You would get a deck that looks something like this. Like I said, you could always change this however you want. I choose to play only 1 dark contract with the Swamp King, but some people do play 2. If you decide to play 2, I would also recommend you play 2 dark contracts with the Witch, because this is going to help you discard your cards, send them to the grave, which you can use the Swamp King to fuse with, while also letting you destroy a card on the field. Another thing you want to make sure you do is get the contract procrastination skill. This is going to make it so that at the beginning of your turn, if you have 1 or more dark contract cards on your field, you can actually skip your standby phase, which means you won't take any damage by your own card effects. And also, I mentioned this a lot, if you guys don't have cards like MST or Cosmic Cyclones, you can always get a free to play copy of Spiritualism from the card trader. Obviously it's not as good, but it does get the job done. Now some of you guys might be wondering, yes, this looks nice and all, but does it break, or how good is actually the deck? So let's go into some frank PvP and show you guys just how the deck plays. Alright, so we're up on the first duel. It looks like we're gonna be going first. I'm assuming up against Harpy Ladies. Now sometimes Trimids do play the Harpy Honeyground skill, but I really think this is gonna be Harpy Ladies. So as you can see, with my starting hand, I can already go into the 3 monster combo, but I don't want to do that because we have the dark contract with the Witch. I think I'm just going to set that and just end my turn right there. I'm gonna see if I could prevent my opponent's turn from happening. Obviously you can't prevent the turn from happening, but we do want to prevent their combo from happening. So let's activate this right here. We're gonna use the effect now. We'll send the Pendragon to the grave and we'll destroy their monster. If they have a Swallow's Nest, then they're gonna just get right past this, but it looks like they don't. So that means they just wasted their normal summon. Okay, so now it's back over to our turn. Now we're not going to be able to OTK because we've already sent our monster to the grave, but we can make some plays. I'll start off by summoning my DD Night Owl. Let's see if there's any delay. There doesn't seem to be any. So let's bring out our monster. We want to get rid of that back row because we don't know what that is, so I'll just send my Kite to the grave and we'll just get rid of that. And it was just a bluff. Okay. Now that we have our Synchro on the field, we're going to want to do some damage. Let's activate Beatdown, and just like that, we're going to be dealing 3,300. Now this is where it gets dangerous. We have no back row, we have nothing to really defend ourselves besides a Kite, and that's only if they destroy our monster. So if they decide to go into a flash here, it would pretty much be over, but it's not. They ended up surrendering, so I'm assuming they had nothing. And that was a fully built Harpy Lady deck, so the fact that we got a win up against a tier 1 deck like that should actually tell you something about this deck. You just have to play it the right way. But anyways, let's go and queue up into another duel and let's just see how well this deck plays. For the next duel, it looks like we're going to be going up against a mirror match. He also seems to be playing the pendulum version of this deck, so that's going to be interesting to see. But turn 1, we're just going to skip. We do have a Kite in hand, and we already have 2 of the 3 parts that we need for the OTK, so it's just depending on what our opponent has. Okay, so he does have the Kepler. If you guys do want more consistency in this deck, on top of having the 3 DD Swirl Slimes and the 3 dark contracts with the gate, you should be playing 3 copies of the Stay Event Kepler because he lets you search for your spell cards. Now obviously it's not a mandatory card that you need, but it will definitely boost up your consistency and it'll make your deck a lot better. But in this video, we're just going to be talking about how you can make this deck free to play with only 10,000 gems. He does have the dark contract with the Swamp King, so that means he can fuse using the monsters he has in his grave and field. Now Genshin is on the field, so once a monster does get special summon, he can special summon somebody else from the grave. And I'm assuming that's going to be the Armageddon. So if we didn't have the Kite, this would definitely be 100% an OTK, but we do have ways to actually stop him. So we're just going to take the 2000 right there, and then we're pretty much forced to negate these 2 attacks. Let's see what we draw into. A Spiritualism. This is actually perfect because he does have a back row, so let's go and get rid of that. And now from here, it's pretty much game. It should be game. Let's activate our dark contract with the gate, and with that we can search for the only card we're missing, and this is where things start to get interesting. We can bring out our Flame King by sending the Pendragon to the grave and my DD Swirl Slime. We summon the Night Owl, which is going to give us the Pendragon onto the field. Like I said earlier, once you special summon a monster with the Genshin on the field, you can actually special summon a monster from your grave, and that's going to be our Pendragon, and this should boost up our monsters to 6,000 attack. We also do have beatdown, so our monsters are all going to be stronger than his. Now the main monster we want to get rid of is going to be their Oracle, because it will make him gain life points instead of losing it with his spell cards. Now I guess that was a bad mistake, because now we can't OTK. His monster got boosted up to 5,800, but that's still not enough. He's going to be taking 11, and he's going to be taking another 15 with our last monster. Now with that being said, I'm going to end my turn, and during his standby phase, he's going to be taking 2,000 life points because of his 2 dark contracts. So that's going to be our another easy win. So for the first duel, we beat a tier 1 deck that was a fully powered tier 1 deck, and now we beat a mirror match that has all the cards they need to make the deck as optimized as they can. They have the Kepler for the search, they have a contract with the gate for search, they have the Slam to bring out monsters. They pretty much have everything they need. They even have a TTH in here, which is, I'm assuming, is what he had said earlier. But if you guys aren't convinced yet, let's go and do another duel. For the last duel, we're going to be going up against a Joey Wheeler. He's just activated Grit. I'm not sure what deck this could be. I have not seen anyone play Grit in a while. And if you look over at our hand, we have an ugly, disgusting brick, but we'll make it work. Okay, so he's actually playing a Performapal deck. This is actually pretty interesting. I've been dying to see how they play. Now, if you're wondering what cards we should be expecting, we should really be expecting either our other Pendulum Scale, a Dark Contract, or maybe a DD Swirl Slam, so we could go into our plays. So there's a lot of cards that we could actually be expecting, and that's already one of them. So let's go with the DD Swirl Slam, and again, I think we just have the OTK here. Now, this time, before we do anything, before we go into our play, I'm gonna make sure I activate the Pendragon's effect. We're going to discard a card and get rid of his field spell. I'm not sure what that field spell does, but we're going to get rid of it just in case. And now that our synchro is out, we're going to be able to special summon a monster once again. Let's go with the Pendragon, and this should be the OTK that we need. Now he does have Grit, so we're going to have to attack with our strongest monster first. Make sure we trigger the Grit, and then we attack directly with any other monster, and that should give us the game. As you can see, this deck is actually pretty good. Even when it looks like you bricked, you actually do have some plays. Now, if you're wondering how you would improve this deck, there's actually a lot of ways, and some of them which I don't even know of yet. Like I said, this deck is relatively new, so you could use support from the new box. This could definitely help you out. I know there's some pretty good cards here, like these Kepler that lets you search for your dark contracts. You could also go back to the Truth Universe box and always get a 3rd copy of that DD Swirl Slam. That could always help you out. If you want your backup plays to have backups, you could also get another Flame King, but I normally play 1. But whatever you do with the deck is entirely up to you, as you want to make sure you guys have good cheap decks you can make. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. If you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate it. But that's actually it for the video, so I'll see you guys in the next one.